Hello, everybody. I'm not sure if that is an older comment. It just now popped up. Remember, if you want your name to show up on, excuse me, on our live feed, and you're off of Facebook and YouTube, you have to click on, there's a link, and you'll see it where I posted the video that I was going live because it's a YouTube rule where we're going back and forth from YouTube to Facebook. You have to give permission. So it does tell you on this live stream, it says StreamYard permission to see your name at, and then just click on StreamYard permission and it will give you permission to have your name show up on YouTube. There we go. I was so confused. Okay. So we're going to start and get to work on pages back of page 4 accordion, page 5 front, page 5 back flap and waterfall, and page 6 front flap. See, I have our dates all down. And we're getting there. We're getting there. We're actually going to be done next week, and we're going to start a new project. I'll have it done this weekend, and I'm really excited. I wasn't going to do another bigger project, but I'm going to, as long as it turns out okay. So we'll see how it turns out. Okay, let me get my finished album because I went ahead and put everything together. Well, hi, Susan. Okay. It might sound a little hollow in my studio today because I'm having new buildings put in tomorrow, and I'm really excited because it's for my cutting machines. And so we have kind of some bare walls. And you know what? The camera, I bought a new camera, and see, it's still going to do the same thing. I guess this is a brand new camera. I guess it's not the camera after all. So we are doing this page here, the back of page 4, because we did the pocket. We ended with the pocket. And the cute little accordion pocket is going to be great for those loose photos or just loose things that you have for next year. And then I am going to use some of the cut out parts. I've actually used 3. That one is one that had been cut down. So we will be using some of the cut out parts, but let's get started. Okay, accordion pocket, back of page 4. And if you've noticed, last week I went ahead because I had too many requests to just post the cutting guide. That last week I went ahead and just posted the whole thing. So it is on Scrapbookers and it's in the file. But for the accordion pocket that we're going to do now, it is the back of page 4. And you want one piece that is 9 by 12 for the accordion pocket. And then we have a piece that is, right now it's just 6 by 4.5. And what we're going to do with the 9-inch, you're going to start with the 9-inch at the top of your, things are falling apart here. Start with the 9-inch at the top of our scoreboard. Hi, Karma. Oh, good. I'm glad to see that a lot of you are caught up. Hi, RJ. It's snowing. Well, it's been nice and sunny here, but cold. So I hope Utah's kind of done with the snow, but I doubt it. So with the 9 inches at the cross of your top of your scoreboard. Hey, Jackie, how are you? And it's on, oh, you don't have this same cutting. This is mine. So we're going to score at 1/2 inch. One inch. And 1.5. Once again, 1/2. 1, 1.5. And then I want you to turn this so it's at the 12 across the top of your scoreboard. And I didn't write that measurement down for myself. So Let me get that. Because we fold this in half. I'm pretty sure it's just 6, but let me double check. Did I not put it on there? I guess not. It is. It's 6. I don't know why I would have thought it'd be anything but 6. So also, if you have your cutting guide that because if you purchase the kit, you have the written one. So right here on the back of page 4, I have with the 9 across the top. You want to just go ahead and then say with the 12 across the top, score at 6 inches if I can find my pencil. I'll use this one. And then score at 6. Turn to the 9 inch at the top again, and we're going to score at 1/2. 1 and 1.5. Okay, then for the piece that's going to fit here, which is the flap, and it's going to have a magnet. This one does have one of the large magnets on it. You want to just put the 4.5 inch at the top of your scoreboard, and this does have a gusset. So everything's falling over here. Hold on. It didn't get marked again on this whole section. I don't know what happened here, but I did score it at 1/2. And then I also scored it at 3/4 with the 4 inch at the top. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Lynette. And then 3/4. Okay, let's start with the 12 inch piece. We're going to fold that in half, making sure that these two guys are even. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to be cutting away these two sides because we only need the top ones. We don't need all of them. So actually I'm going to cut these bottom part away so we don't have a seam up here. I mean, you'll have a seam, but it'll be a nicer seam. Excuse me. So this is going to be the bottom, and I'm going to cut these 3 away. And I'm just barely going to the inside of the score line. Right up next to it. And for right now, I'm just going to cut straight across. So that's been removed. And I know my arm looks terrible, but I've got burn cream there and under the Band-Aid. And so we don't bump it. Hi, Jojo. Oh, hello, Fauna. Hello, everybody that's popping in. Sorry. Been working because I lost my train of thought for a second. I have to pay attention. Okay, that's what you're left with. Hi, Sandy. So let's just fold this over again. And when you fold it up, this is where we're going to have this. Just fold it across. Then I want you to, just like if you were doing the album cover, miter that away, but keeping that straight as possible. Same with the top. It's not painful anymore. And you know what? It would have been a lot more painful if my 4-year-old granddaughter would have grabbed the baking pan that came out of the oven, and I took my wrist and went like this, but her little hand was like this. And you know how fast we react. So better me than her little hand. It would have been bad. Yeah, Bailey, and not Bailey, she's big. Lila, my son's daughter, decided when the stuff came out of the oven, it looked really good. She went to get the pan, and I went like that, Jackie, and it just burnt my arm. But it doesn't hurt now, so we are good. It just looks gross. I'm sorry. So one thing you want to look for is that you've cleared. That's why we angled it, and I need to angle this guy just a little bit more because I didn't want it to hit the bottom. And you know how fragile little 4-year-old skin is. It would have been terrible for her. Okay. Now you just want to fold back and in. So accordion fold. Making sure it's nice and lined up. Nothing sticks out. Once again, towards yourself and away from yourself. Yeah, I think most of us are grandmas, huh? And then what happens is, see, this is going to fold up, and then we have a nice little accordion pocket. Well, and you know 4-year-olds are fast. So I didn't have time to grab anything but react. It was just an all react. And there goes Wilbur. This is kind of cool too. Here it is, 6:11, and we still have some daylight, but I gotta close those. So I'm really happy. Okay, let's go ahead with our adhesive. And I'm going to grab my clothespins because we want to kind of squish the bottom down. Were you babysitting, Debbie? Okay. So just kind of hold that down. There we go. Sorry, the dog brought his bone downstairs, of course. Oh, Carol, you know what? My little grandson, he wasn't even 2. They were playing at the park, and you know the manhole covers? Mm-hmm. 2nd-degree burns on his little feet. So, yeah. I can imagine curling iron would do the same. Well, I have to tell you, I have 11 grandchildren. One's getting ready to graduate high school. Then one will follow behind her. And I did that. I babysat because there's no way they were going to a daycare. But you know what? I'm okay. I'm okay with it now. They can go to They're big enough, though. They can go to daycare. I did. I watched. We raised our 4, and then I raised the grands. And so I don't have to babysit them anymore. I mean, when they're here, they're so good. You don't even know they're here because the youngest is 4. I don't have any babies anymore. But I have Wilbur. And he's like having a baby. Okay, so you have a gusset now. This is the closure here. And I'm going to miter these corners. But I definitely would not turn down even my kids' friends that need a grandma to babysit at times. It's like, yes, you can bring them over. Now, this is going to go here. One thing you might notice when you're doing this, when you push this in, you're going to notice how this looks longer because we mitered this down. So you've got some sticking out on the back. And your first thing might be, oh, I want to cut that off. I wouldn't cut it off because I'll show you. This is what's going to, it's going to sit there. And that gives us the extra, see, when you lay this down, it's that spacing you need to clear the top. So if you end up cutting this piece on the back, see how it's a little bit too long, then you're going to need to, because see, this one is not. And that was done on purpose. So I hope you haven't cut it. And then if you want, you can leave these, of course, square. I'm going to go ahead and miter mine to match. Oh, hi. Sorry, I didn't know if somebody's asking. Because, yeah, I'm actually paying attention to what I'm doing tonight. Okay. Oh, you know, there's nothing like that new little one, though. So what I did is see how I furnished it so that score line comes to the front. And on the 1/2 inch flat. Let's just go ahead and open it. I can't believe that dog decided to bring the bone down here now. Sorry. Ooh, you have 8 boys and 8 girls? I don't remember what we have. I just know the count's 11. There is a magnet on this. There, now see how that, because this one is perfect, so see it clears it. 5 girls. Well, you know, we had all girls for the longest time, and then a boy came along. Actually, there's only like 3 boys. 1 boy, are you ready for this? My son has 5 girls because he has twins, identical twins. And 1 boy, no, sorry, 4 girls and 1 boy. Okay, let's grab a magnet. I am using the large. So we have 4 boys and 8 girls. Yeah, the boys are definitely outnumbered in this family when it comes to the grands. You too, Darlene, your boys are outnumbered. Yep. Well, let's go here first. Make sure we clear the top. Because I really, yes, I can. I'm going to bring it down further. You know, you guys are like, what are you doing? That's better. That's gonna be fine. We're gonna mat that anyway. Okay. So I chose the candy stripe, 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. It's going to be the matting. And I have to grab my ivory. And then for the top, this is 5 7/8 by 3 3/8. And I used the polka dots, but what did I do? I cut it too short. So we'll cut another piece. So let's cut a 5 7/8. It should be 3 5/8, not 3 3/8. So I'll cut that right now. And I did use this guy on the back. And this is also the piece that's going down on the page. No, let me grab the paper. So, use that. I have an 8-foot desk, and it's still not big enough. Yep. 3 5/8. And 5 7/8. Save that for something else. Yeah. Three. You know, I had 3 boys and my daughter. We had a lot of boys outnumbered for the longest time and I only have brothers. So having a girl is nice. This is going to be the back. It's the same size, 3 5/8 by 5 7/8. Oh, Carol, you know what, Carol? I don't know why. I didn't realize you're just that close to me. Well, you're close, but not that close. You're really close. So yeah, now you get to keep working on it. Wait, does Olive who live with who? Debbie, you don't mean me, do you? Because no, they don't live with me. Only a couple. Yep, I only had brothers. Mickey, I didn't send that invoice to you, but I will, I promise, as soon as we're done. We'll put the cute little kettle parts on this. But what we'll do is we'll come back when we have other decorating to do on our album. Okay, now this will sit on the inside and it's the same size. Hi, Renee. How are you? Oh, Wendy. I didn't really. Oh, she will. We'll be all praying for that. She will be a healthy, strong little baby. She will be. They're so good about medical now with the preemies. Oh, Carol, why? Is it? Well, I'm hoping this new camera helps. It's not going to help when we do the next one because it still doesn't like the Pegamixels or whatever. Remember, we cut 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. I did not put any matting on the inside. No, there it goes. But it's not the camera, so I mean it's not the camera being broken, but the camera, actually my other one absolutely just broke. So that's why we've got a new one. It's crazy. Needs to quit it. Okay, on our page. Kind of doing the same thing. That one, I see I've got to get caught up myself. So we're going to mat the back. It's going to be 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. And then our pocket sits here. And then I did take a stripe of red, and we should have a scrap of that. I'll get that out too. Hi, Bobby. Do they give you projects to work on, or do you need to do your own? There's no glue. Get those corners down. Oh, then you get to choose a lot of different projects. Okay. I put this at the edge so it was away from the spine. And then let's get a piece of the red. And I'm pretty sure we've already cut. Maybe we have not cut into it. Oh, no, it's the cut aparts. Here's what I did. You'll notice on the original pocket, I did use this little guy. And I had cut, let me cut this with you. And then I used this as part of the, I put it behind. And then I did put the kitty. So I cut these two. And then I cut a strip off. So I'll just cut that with you so you know what I'm talking about. And don't know if I'll use these same cut aparts again, but I want you to see how I did that. So I'm just going to cut out these two bottoms. For the pocket. We'll cut the strip in just a moment. So what I did here is, and I just cut away some of the bottom. I didn't want to overpower the pocket. Let me set that there for a minute. And then I did the same with the dog. But I used this. And I did matte these. So I'll matte these in green. I wanted things to be somewhat layered. And the wreath just still had to be there. So that's what I did. And I did the matting to match. And then we'll put the word traditions here. But if you don't, I cut some of this off too. If you don't want to use the pets, of course, you got lots of others to choose from. I'll put those there for just a moment. And I'm going to cut. So it should be almost perfect. A 1 inch. No, I did a 3/4 inch strip off of the edge. Hi, Tricia. I'm going to take an 1/8 of an inch off. He's doing good. He's somewhere. I did give him bones. And then I put this off to the side. And I did put a Santa Claus sticker so it looked like the seal. I don't know. I'm not seeing it on here. Oh, here it is. We won't put it on. And then that went there. Darlene, I got the same camera. The only reason I still got the C920 is it's the newest, even though it's not new. And it's the wide angle Logitech. So it's the only one really that I like. So I just got a new one. And they're not expensive. Okay, let's put our pocket down first. I do not use a special mic. I actually have one here. And I also have a headset. Because it was suggested on YouTube that someone said I should use a headset to block out background noise. So I spent all this money and got an expensive headset. And you know what? My son was here. We did everything possible. The noise in the background, and it doesn't matter if you wear a headset or not. You're going to still get noise. So I sent it back. I'm like, I'm sorry that there's background noise. That's just how my studio is because I can't lock the dogs out. It'll be worse. So no special mic. Just use the mic that comes with your camera. I do have even the blue. And to be honest with you, you spend all this money on expensive equipment and still people say they can't hear you. So I said, to heck with it. Okay, we want to make sure that's down. And I'm going to add this strip. Make sure it's straight. Well, I don't know where the little guy is. He's been really good when I film anymore. But he does go out and howl. And if I quit talking, that's when you'll hear him. But he's still very verbal. Trust me. Because starting next week, don't forget, next week, this will change. So actually our class to finish this up is going to be Friday at 11 a.m. And you probably will hear Wilbur. Okay. We're done there. We're going to the front of page 5. Well, here comes Wilbur now. He just threw a ball down the stairs. Speak of the devil. Here he comes. Okay, the front of page 5. Let's take a look at the front of page 5. Okay, this is the matting my camera doesn't like. This is the only piece I'm not going to do with you. Here comes Wilbur. It's just a mat that was from my leftover at 5.5 by 7. But this is what we're making. Yeah. Oh no, this camera started doing this. This is what we're going to make. And so you will want a magnet with this. And from our cutting guide, you're going to find front of page 5. And let's start with our these two pieces. We have 2 pieces that are 6 by 8.5. Actually, you have 2 6 by 8.5. You have 1 6.5 by 8.5. Then you have 2 more 6 by 8. And our closure is 2 by 5. Wilbur, I snorted. Wilbur is a mess. It just made me really laugh. Stuart says Wilbur is a mess. Well, let me tell you, Wilbur is a mess. Sorry, I didn't mean to snort. That was just really funny. Okay, this is going to be our base, and it's a pocket. We made it into a pocket. And so we're going to score it. And I had to just double check to make sure I didn't mess you guys up. So with the 8.5 at the top of the scoreboard, we want to score it 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. We're not scoring the bottom. Yes, we are. And then 1/2 inch. What happened was when I made the original one, I made my own hinges, and I thought, no, that's silly to put extra hinges, make them separate. So I just changed the size I needed to check. So you're going to score 3 sides at 1/2 inch. Okay. Then we want to score the next 2 pieces are the 6 by 8. I have to make sure I get the right pieces. And with the 8 inch across the top of the scoreboard, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And again at 1/2 inch. And then on these 2 guys, with the 8.5 at the top of the scoreboard, I've left something out. Because that's off. Hold on. No. Yeah, this one's right. Sorry. You are going to score at 1/2 inch and 1/2 inch. This is the 8.5. So I've got my 2 1/2 inches. And then I got to see here what I did. It's been a while since I made this. And I didn't mark your scoring guide. Okay, I'm folding those 2 in so that I can see where I'm going to score this. And it's 3 3/4. So let me give you these measurements. I don't think so. Bonnie, I believe, is traveling. Okay, 8.5 at the top. So go ahead and mark your cutting guide if you have the written. I don't know what happened here, but with 8.5 across the top, you're scoring at 1/2, 4 1/4, and an 8. Let's get the original measurements and see what I did here. Check my notes. Front of page 5, front of page 5. Okay, I did leave some off. I don't know why. So we've got our pocket. This is your 8.5 piece. Let's go back to our 2 6 by 8 inch pieces. Okay, and we did score at our 1/2 inch. Open, that was 1/8, 4 1/4. Sorry, I'm just having to check myself. And then our little closure. Judy, what did you cut? 5 7/8? Because nothing's marked 5 7/8 except for the matting. Your 2 inch by 5 inch. This little tab here. That's going to keep it closed. We're going to score at 1/2 inch and then 3/4 inch because we need that 1/4 inch gusset. Okay. Now I got my brain fixed because this one I didn't put your measurement on. I mean your scoring. So it's right here. See this very first one, your 6.5 by 8.5, or your 6 by 8. No, we already did that one. See, I'm really getting my. This was our pocket. These are the 2 6 by 8s where we're just scoring one end. And then this piece that is 8.5 inches is the one that you want to mark 4 1/4 and then 8. So 1/2, 4 1/4, 8. Go ahead and furnish those square marks. See, this is going to come up like so. So we have it as a tent. Go ahead and fold your 1/2 inch score marks like so. See, it's going to sit like so. So when our book opens and closes, then we have a working mechanism. So let's go to our base and make the pocket. Hi, Vanessa. And then we're going to cut across the corner. Remember, I told you wrong. Which one did I tell you wrong? Well, the matting is 7 7/8 for the page we just did. If you made 8 by 8 pages. So I'm not worried about this fitting on a page because it's going to kind of fit on the middle of our page. And we can set this aside for a minute because I feel bad. Judy, I'm confused. What did you cut? What's cut wrong? On this one? Yes, this is 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. But if you cut this piece at 5 7/8 by 5 7/8, don't throw it away. Now just do some decorative strips like we did. On this one. So yes, the pocket is 5 7/8 by 5 7/8. So I apologize if that threw you off. So what happens? One has to hook here on our pocket with that folded. Okay. And one has to hook here. This is going to end up going somewhat in the middle to create this. So I'm just kind of having you looking at this for a minute, and so that it makes total sense. I hope it makes sense. Then this really doesn't move. Yes, and I am struggling here for a moment because I don't want to screw you guys up. Because I have a feeling I had you cut this and I don't know why. So you have an extra one. I love the page too, but I just got myself all messed up. This is the base. We got the base pocket. We only needed one of these, so set that aside. That's where I got myself all screwed up. Okay, we don't need that one. We only need one. So let's go ahead, miter these corners, and add our adhesive. You know what we're going to do first? We're going to use temporary adhesive. This is one of those watch the teacher and let's make sure everything goes smooth first. So that's going to open like so. Now with this folded, and this is going to be folded back. This is why I'm going to use temporary. And this stuff is wonderful. Thanks to Miss Bonnie getting me hooked on it. So see these guys? So with this one folded, it sits there. Now this is going to fold back. You fold this back. And it doesn't stick. Let's restick that. Well, how did I get myself so screwed up here, guys? Hold on. I really did make this. Good Lord. It's just been too long. There we go. All right, we're going to put that in the center is what we're going to do. Voila. Okay, we got it. We got it. I am, but I'm just having to take care of this. What did I miss? I see everybody's in everybody's group. It's just that I've had a totally brain dead moment. Oh, the extra one is 8.5. Your extra one is 8 by 6. We don't need 2 8 by 6s. We only need one. And I don't know why I had to do 2. But see, I kind of crumbled this up. So your 8.5 is the one that you scored at 1/2 inch, 4 1/4, and 8. This is the second 8 by 6 that we're going to put down here. Because I don't want to screw you up any more than I've already just screwed you up. Okay. Also, this is a pocket. So make sure you got a 1/2 inch at the bottom, one at your left, and one on your right. Okay. I'm confident now. Let me clean all that off. That we can put this on. I don't know why I had a brain fart. But I have noticed I've had to do shipping this week. Our main girl in shipping, her daughter returned from a mission. So she comes back tomorrow. Thank you, Lord. Because, yes, Heather Tamara's very confused, but I'm not now. When I have to ship my okay, I need to quit. When I have to ship, my brain goes into work mode, and then it's hard to get back into creative mode. And so this is what happens, and I'm so sorry. But we got it. We got it. Okay, so remember, 8. We're going to score a 1/2 inch. That's 1/2 inch on each side. So you can go 1/2, 4 1/4, and 8, or 1/2, and then 4 1/4. So we're going to fold these guys in. They're going to attach both down. We're going to center our centers, basically. Fold these backwards. Now, here's where we want to make sure they're the exact same size. And miter our corners. Okay, we can breathe now. There we go. So let's go ahead and add our adhesive. Then we're going to match our centers. Match top to bottom. Okay, I just looked up. Did I miss any comments? Now, really, if you can get in, especially to make sure that you don't have anything glued down. Thank you, Tricia. I knew with your support, my ding-dong brain would get there. Okay, we're there. Now, woohoo, it works. Now, the thing is, you're going to have to kind of refurnish your score lines probably a little bit. And help it lay flat. And there we go. And it will lay flatter as we get our matting on. But just work it for a minute. So I've got this temporary stuff now. Let me just finish wiping that off. Now, once we add the matting too, let me show you, it won't lay as flat. You won't want to push it either. But see, it will go flat. You can see it's a little bumpy right here too. And there's nothing you can do because you're working with so many layers. Now, let's add this guy because we want to add this right there to that 1/2 inch. It's going to be part of it. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? And I did my corners on this one. And I do want to mat this first. I'll tell you why. I just think it's easier to mat them first. Now, when you put it back here, if it sticks over inside, you just may want to trim it. Oh, I did tell the story. My granddaughter reached for the pan I took out of the oven. So I'm going to take just a little bit off. She's only 4. She saw me take the chicken out and the pan was very hot. It had been on what, 450. She went to grab the pan to see, and I went like that to move it. I mean, she was fast. Okay, mat this. So mine comes out to be, because we have that 1/4 inch, it's 4 1/4. I'm still going to use the green. So I did the width at 1 7/8 and then 4 1/8. But you have to have a magnet on the back. So let's put that down first. We've got lots of room to work with. I mean, it's going to stick out on our page. So I'm not worried about where I put the magnet. These are all, of course they are. They're all negatives. Well, that's kind of crazy. So we'll re-stick the other side. One of these days, I'm going to actually give each and every one of you a coronary by being extremely, everything's going to go so smooth and you're not even going to realize what happened. Okay. Just so I get it on the right side. A new piece of score tape. Hi, Kathy. How's the weather in Texas? Yeah, they are kind of hard to get from the package. Again, just making sure you have enough room that your paper will cover the edges. Well, if you use your big Tim Holtz scissors and cut around it, it kind of helps. So 1 7/8 by 4 1/8. Like I said, I already did ink my edges of these. Thank you, Rhonda. And, you know, the weather's getting better and better. We're getting closer to hopefully getting art glitter glue sent, but it's still going to probably be another month. And I'm needing it. Hi, Mary. I didn't see you in there. These are from the scraps. Yes, Deborah. I'm sorry, Judy, that I probably confused you. Yes, I would watch that again slowly. And these are just, you'll have scrap pieces when you cut your matting for this page. I don't know why I went brain dead there, but I do apologize for messing anybody up. But this will be recorded. That's the nice thing. And then you can go back. And I wish I could take that out to where we did it right, but I can't. So basically the only thing to worry about is where I have down 2 of the 6 by 8s. You only need 1. Break your nails, darling. You don't just push them. You know what? Or give them to a family member and say, here, take all these magnets out for me. And let them do the work. Okay, so just center it pretty much where you want it. And you do have a gusset there. And remember, it's going to come back here to this 1/2 inch hinge that we've made for a pocket. And you're going to see right now, I'm just squishing that down. Instead of clothespin there to hold it for me. Let me turn it over. You can just reform that. Put our next magnet down, and we can do the matting. Whoops, magnet likes to grab everything. So check also that your page is straight. Mine was a little off. Keep your gusset there. Okay. So we can use this for that mat that I showed you in the beginning that will go back behind the pocket. So I don't know what I was drinking that night. So we'll cut that down for there. Okay, I'm going to mat on the inside out. I still have that sticky stuff, sorry, kind of sticking there. So we're also going to mat inside here. It's not really hard to do. You'll be able to slide your papers right in there because you want to hide those hinges. That's why you don't want to do it beforehand. And these should measure 3 3/4 by 6. And they could be a little bit off, but most of it, no, I've got 3. There hit my camera. Sorry. I have 3 3/4 all the way around. And this is the paper that hates my camera. So measure yours, like I said, and if you have to take them down, you might have to, but these will, we're going to alternate them. And then I put a green one on the side underneath and a red one, and I'll show you. We'll slip those in just a moment. So I cut 6, and you're going to get these out of one sheet of paper because you cut your paper first at 5 7/8. So on your 12 by 12, I'm just going to show you 12 by 12. Just cut 5 7/8 and 5 7/8, and then you'll go 3 5/8, 3 5/8, 3 5/8, 3 5/8. And if you turn it, so one may have a different angle, but I was able to get 2 more by going the other side. I think one was maybe just a hair short, but you should, if you have the kit, have enough paper if you need to cut into another one of this pattern. But they are 3. Mine came out to be 3 5/8 wide, 3 5/8 by 5 7/8, and you want 6. Now you can also use the white on the inside or ivory if you don't want to use your pattern paper. Oh, Heather, no worries, but thank you for doing that anyway, but no worries. Then the green. Now in a minute here, I'm going to kind of reform that to make it stick up again. See, we'll be pinching it so we have more of that. But we have to work on it flat. And my last one will be green. That'd look cool to do red and red and green, green and green also. So you can definitely vary your pattern. But makes for a very interesting place for photos. Okay, now we want to go to the inside. Like I said, it's not hard. So I put the red under the green. And you will have to slide it, you know, in and kind of, you won't be able to see it too well while I'm putting it in either. But if you're using glue, that just makes it a lot easier. There we go. And let's do the green. We made it. We made it in one piece. Even after all of that. But hey, it's just paper. But it is amazing to me that we can take paper and do something like this. That we just take it from just flat chipboard and paper and create it into such a cool project, basically. The things we can build with it. Okay, so when it closes, we did it. And that was quite a feat. And I don't know why I became so forgetful. But the next piece, so see how this is, you can tell I kind of cut also from here. This is going to be from the same sheet, and this came from the same sheet. This is what we're going to mat the page with, and it's 7 7/8 by 7 7/8 because our page is 8 by 8. But right now for the front of this one, so I used the red in the center, and this was left over from when we did this page last week. And so you'll have a little strip and you'll be able to cut from the quilt pieces. And let me give you those sizes. So the center, this comes out to be 7.5 inches long now. This is going to be 7 3/8, and it's 4 inches even. And you want to place that so it's over your magnet. But we need to center it top and bottom here. So I want to lay down these pieces. These are 7 3/8 by 7 7/8. Now, if you don't want as much spot, you could probably get by with a full inch, but I went 7/8. I like that. There we go. That there's a space there, but we're going to put down the 7/8 pieces first. If we don't, we're going to end up not putting this exactly where we want it. So these are 7/8 of an inch wide by 7 3/8 long. So he wrote that down, and we're going to make sure we have just that little bit of border, 1/16 of an inch or so. You don't want to put it right to the bottom. Flip this upside down, and I'm going to do the same thing, but at the top. No, it wasn't a brain teaser. It's not hard to make. I just went brain dead for a moment. And you know why? I put that extra 6x8 and it just threw me off. All of a sudden my brain said, wait a minute, what are you making? Because you didn't do this before. That's that temporary sticking. I just love it, the tape runner, but then it makes everything want to stick to you. There we go. Hi, Lori Joe. And so now we know exactly that this is going to be where we want it in the center. And I think this makes a really pretty frame for a larger photo. Definitely a full, 4x6. You just trim a little bit for Christmas. And next week we'll be finished. And then you've already got your first December project off your list. Okay, for this part here, I want to take this Marion Bright, and what I did is it fits perfect. And I just placed that down. Oh, it was for you. You were just talking out loud. And I do just always use your adhesive so it's permanent. And at the tail end next week, we'll go back and add all the other little embellishments, our enamel dots and things like that, because those don't take long. And then I did just use the little girl here, and then I had an enamel dot at the top, and I just put her with an enamel dot. I just didn't grab mine, so we'll go back and put those little touches on. Okay, let's grab the book. If you want, you can already cut this down to 5.5 by 7. And maybe that's what I meant to put on the instruction sheet. I don't know. 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. And then this little guy that we made with blood, sweat, and tears is going to sit here. Oh, Joyce, I did ink the edges the same color. So I did that before, so it didn't take up so much time. I did ink it with potting soil. That's what I've been using on all of my pages. And they are lightly distressed. So if you're making it as we go, and because I need to do that, otherwise we'll be live all night long, you might want to just, cut your pages and lay them here, go back and ink them, and then you can put them down after. Just a thought. But the nice thing is when this is recorded, you'll be able to go back and shut me off when you want. Okay, I put this about an 1/8 to a 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. The choice is yours. I kind of evened it up here with the pocket to the left. I don't know if you can see that December dailies there. So that's probably about a 1/4. Just lined those two up. Oh, let me show you real quick. So if you are going to go back and make this and you don't have a magnet, you can put your ribbon there and have it tie around the front. Just have it come back here to that hinge side. And then before you glue it down just a little bit. It's 1/2 inch down. I'm going to go ahead and cut this piece that was extra at 5.5 by 7. Might as well just cut that off. Make sure nothing's stuck. And I'll just mat this with scraps. So it'll go either way. I had mine just sticking out. And what I did is these were scraps when we were finished that I put on, excuse me, that I put on here. So I'll slide those back in. Phew, we did it. Ooh, Joyce, I started a project using ocean blue. I hope to have it done this weekend so I can show you guys. It's a folio, but it's different, really different. Not hard different, just different. And it came to my mind and I started on it just the other day. Okay, I gotta make sure the corners are down. Oh, no, I'm getting back. No, I've been really good about not forgetting to ink. I really do like that page now that it's straightened out. Okay. And we are actually doing pretty good. So I think with the timing, even with my big script, we'll probably go back and be able to get this done. But our next one is going to be the flap. This doesn't have a magnet or anything. It just sits very nice. And then you will want, so if you have the kit, you have the string and it's 24 inches of the black and white. And this is where we will be using eyelets. And we have the waterfalls. So I'll leave that string off for right this moment. Oh, Darlene, we're getting really close. We are finishing. I just looked at yours today. It should be able to go out tomorrow. Darlene got the whole collection using her Wilbur stamps from Country Craft Creations. If you have Wilbur stamps, you save them and you put them in a booklet like this. No, And then you get to turn in your Wilbur stamps whenever you purchase $50 or more. She just, yeah. Anyway, she turned hers in for 25 sheets of chipboard and a package of artisan. But Darlene picked the whole I Want It All collection. She saved all her stamps. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, back of page 5. You have those are the little tabs. I know I need to cut another one. I don't think I cut them both. I wanted to use another scrap, so I'm going to set those aside. Yeah, you need 2 that are 1.5 by 2. So I had another scrap I was going to cut. Instead of cutting into a full sheet of paper. So 1.5 by 2. Two of those. You have a 3.5 by 6.5. Three and a half by 6. So you have 2 3.5 by 6.5 for our waterfalls. You have 1 3 by 6. Excuse me. And you have 1 8 by 4.5. That's, or 8 by 4. Sorry, 8 by 4.25. That's that top flap. And we're going to start with the top flap, scoring it with the 4 1/4 quarter at the top of your scoreboard. And we're going to score it 1/2 inch. Ooh, I'll bet it's pretty, Joyce. So 1/2 inch. We can set that aside. Then the 2 little tabs that we need. On the 2-inch side, you're going to just score it 1/2 inch. Yeah, they're the same length. Okay. Now we have one that's a base that we're going to build the waterfall on. And it's your 3.5 by 6 inches. And you don't need to score this because we're going to use it to build on. And hello. And then on the 6.5 inch side of your 3.5 inch pieces, we'll score it 1/2 inch. Somebody from Facebook is saying hello, and your name's not showing up, but I'm saying hello back. So we have those 2 scored from the 6.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. I did use my corner chomper. So on the opposite side, I did use my angle on this one. This one, you don't want to angle because it's the base. Oh, yes, I did. If you are angling those 2, then you go ahead and do these 2 corners. And I did do the 2 little tabs that we're going to use to tie. I did not do the top flap. Oops. Okay. The mat for the base page. So this starts our baking side. So you know how the book kind of graduates into baking. This one is 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. That's going to be our base page. We don't want to put it down yet. The flap. And I just cut my ivory because I was out of ivory paper earlier. The ivory is what's on the back of all of these. They're on the back of the 2 waterfalls. So I cut these at 5 7/8 by 3 3/8. And they will be for the back side of our waterfalls. And the stars. Now they're going to come from your one of the cut apart sheets. And those ones are all inked and done. 5 7/8 by 3 3/8. You want 3. And the matting on the flap, 7 7/8 by 3 5/8. And that will be the same if you're using the ivory on the back side. And I'm going to start with that top flap. And we're going to mat it, and then we're going to put it down onto the book. Ooh, Vegas is going to be so fun, Kathy. Burnish that down really well, my 4-line. Like I said, I didn't miter these corners at all. So from the strips, the back is that green and red. I put that on the top so that this was right in the center. It's just kind of the way it fell. It looked really cute, so I left it. The other one has more of the cookies on the original book, but it doesn't matter when it comes to these border strips. Just so you don't cut your cookies' heads in half. So the back of this page, and then page 6 in the back of the book is dedicated to the baking. And of course, you don't have to do it that way. But I found that this year, I really wished I had some spaces for baking with the grandkids. We really needed those, and I didn't have those in that book. Okay, let's go ahead and do the inside with the ivory. So that's a great place to journal or photos or both. And you know, we have one spot for Vegas, just one. But it's coming up fast, and I'm getting so excited. And just a reminder, next week, Authentique has moved to Wednesdays at 11 a.m. And my live will be Friday at 11 a.m. I know that'll take a little bit to get used to, but we'll be doing more daytime hours for a bit. Give those a chance who can't make it to the nighttime. Okay, let's put the flap in our book. The hotel is Embassy Suites, but it's the Embassy Suites down at the far, we're not by the strip, if that makes sense. So I'm going to put this to the outside edge, matching up to that outside edge. And I need to trim mine a hair. Even with the matting on, it is, I cut it too long. That's why it was sticking out, my matting. Much better. Much better. Looks better too. Yeah, my book is upside down. My book's upside down because I can see the top better to match it up. When I do flaps, I always turn mine upside down. There's no way I can see over that. I want it to be right at the top. Now what I'm going to do here while we're working on the waterfalls, I'm just going to bring in my clothespins and score tape. Let's get rid of the score tape. We'll let the clothespins do the work. So now you can see your waterfall. It's going to sit down here, and that gives it room for the flap to open. Oh, did I really lose? No, I did not. Burnish up the edges of these and don't miter your corners on the waterfall. Man. Okay, second one. Your 3.5 by 6 base should be 6.5. So change that on your cutting guide. Oh, I see Facebook. No, Facebook doesn't look too blurry. So I apologize. These need to all three. I guess you can attribute it to my senility. Cross out that 6, 3.5 by 6, and make this 3, 6.5 by 3.5. I even went over it 100 times. I don't know. So you'll have scraps. So it's not like you're having to cut into a new one. But your base needs to be 3.5 by 6.5. So grab one of those scraps. And you should have a stack of them still that's 3.5 and 4 inches wide from cutting your pages. Yes, 3.5 by 6.5. So we'll just save him for a tag. We're going to add the adhesive. And it's going to go. Now, if you didn't miter your corners at all, it doesn't matter which end you use. Just put it at one of the ends. I checked Facebook, Diane, and it didn't look blurry. Okay, where that one ends is where our next one's going to start. And also, as soon as we're done, I will go fix the cutting guide on the scrapbooker screw. And the main thing is I'm trying to match up these two at the end. So I am going to match those two first. And those guys should line up just fine. Much better. sticking out just a little bit at the bottom for some reason. So I just move it up. You'll see how it kind of pooches there. There we go. Okay, we're going to have a tab on each end if you want. If not, you can just tie it all the way around the center. But for these little guys, I use scraps at 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. And you have plenty of scraps in what we've been cutting. And what I did is I used the red. So we'll cut 2 pieces at 1 3/8 by 1 3/8. Actually, you need 4 front and back. So let's go ahead and, you've already done your corners on these, then you can go ahead and do your corners on these pieces. Is it still blurry for you, Diane? Are you drinking wine? I'm just kidding. Hi, Bobby. Hi, Raven. So you will want a hole punch. I'm going to use the crocodile, and I'm going to use 2 brads. Like I said, if you don't, I mean, you can also attach ribbon to these if you want these there, but you don't have anything to set your brads or an eyelet punch. You can also put these on and put ribbon under there so you still have the same look. Let's see, maybe if I may. You could, Joyce. Joyce, what you can do, I would make, if you're not going to use anything else, I would make you could put your 1/2-inch hinges. So just cut your strips of paper at 1 inch, score it half, make these pockets, or you don't even have to, just glue the 3 sides. Then you could make yourself a tag that goes in and actually folds over and kind of holds that shut. You could do the same up here and have it fold over, move it up just a hair and have a little pocket to stick the tag in to hold this shut. So yeah, you can do a lot of different things like that. Very creative, because sometimes it's not convenient to use magnets but you can also just add ribbon all the way around this back and tie it in the front. But to be honest with you, it's going to lay pretty flat. Let me show you. Even with these guys open, do you see it's still laying flat? Yeah, it's going to open a little bit when your book moves. But if you didn't put anything there, you would still be okay. The weight of the paper is what just makes it lay flat. Two eyelets. So you want to kind of find your center. I'm not going to, it doesn't have to be perfect. 3/4 and about down to 3/4. Actually, I'm going to go a little bit lower. Trying to bring it 1 inch. So I even have the set on 1 inch. So mine is 3/4 in from the side, 1 inch from the top. No, it's not quite. About 3/4. Because it doesn't have to be perfect. The only thing is you want your holes definitely to match. So I'll use one for a pattern. And we'll grab our eyelets. I'm just going to use silver. Sure, Melissa. It's on my, you can get it right there on YouTube. Just go back. We've done it. We've been doing it every week since the end of January. And yes, all the videos are there. Whoops. Not Brad's. Eyelets, yes. Oh, I don't use mine enough. Can't get a hold of it. There we go. Voila. That one smushed too hard. That's okay though. Much better. Like didn't, oh, there, it didn't bend it quite on that side. Now, when placing it down, of course, you want these to be straight across from each other. And it will wrap to the back. You can also measure. And I probably will do that after I put this first one on. So that one is, that's 1 inch from the top. Oh, they're both 1 inch from the top. So that was unusual to get it perfect. Clothespin will hold it. When we're done, we can put our ribbon through there. Whoops, it's going this way. Then we'll put our ribbon through there and it will tie. But let's go ahead and do the matting. Okay, good. My sizes are right. 3 3/8 by 5 7/8. 2 of the ivory, 3 of the green. So the ivory will go on the back side. And I did go ahead and ink those edges. Oh, just a minute. Eli, what do you need? You okay? My I have one of the grandkids here. See, they're so quiet, two of them. My son's oldest has his junior high orientation tonight. He's our first grand boy. He's going off to junior high next year. So they're at orientation. And I forgot his other one was here. He's so quiet, but grandpa's here. Oh, that's why Wilbur's been quiet. He's been playing with him. I like those stars. And I'm doing the fronts, and then the backs will be ivory. And one more right here. That. Okay, now the back side. The ivory really helps break up the pattern. This paper has, a lot going on. Okay, now for your little sections here, if you want the matting of those, well, there's only the one, but to give it more of a finished look, I'm going to use, remember we cut a strip off of here, so I'm going to cut another strip, which is just going to be 3/8 of an inch. It's kind of little. And then it's going to be 3 3/8, the same as the matting that we did for our waterfall piece. Yes, 3 3/8. I still have the hammer, and there's times I want to get that thing out instead of the crocodile because I used it with sewing, Joyce, and I really like the hammer. See, and that'll give it a little more finished look. Sometimes there's nothing like the good old tools. I'm not going to worry about the ribbon yet. We need to put it down first. So with your book, I'm going to take those guys off now. Aren't clothespins wonderful? So nice to have those extra hands. So again, our matting is 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. And that way it looks like the cookie pattern, continues. So, Diane, is it still blurry on Facebook? Hopefully it's not. Make sure no glue comes out. I love seeing when our book starts to really bulk up. It means we're getting done. I do have to go back on those areas I didn't get done. Okay, the waterfall. So you might see Joyce has been talking about doing 3 sides. You certainly could do it as a pocket. So if you want to do this as a pocket and you want this held down, that would be kind of cute, wouldn't it? I didn't do that before to hold that flap down, but I think I will. Thank you, Joyce. I'm going to just turn this over and we're going to add adhesive instead of to the whole thing. We're going to clean that up. Instead of the whole thing, I am just going to do 3 sides. And thank you, Joyce. They are. The kits the kits are selling well for the Flora. They're going to go out here next week. We just got the rest of everything in for them. The nice thing is, Joyce, with that kit, you're going to have leftover. So you'll be able to make other projects with it. And our kits, I only charge for the actual merchandise. You don't pay extra for anything else. And you do get hopefully a written guide that's correct. But hi, honey, I'm almost done. You get the tutorials are always free. Now, love that idea. Thank you. So this little guy that was too much, I'm going to use him probably the tag. I think it's too long for me. I'm going to take an inch or so off. Put a little tag in there. Thanks for sharing, Joyce. That turned out cute. So I cut mine down to 4 1/4. And that'll be enough to hold it shut. Good idea. Okay, I have 24 inches of ribbon. Well, got 24. Now, if you don't want it to go across, let me show you something. I won't tie it. You can tie one here. This will be too long. I just want to show you and you can tie one. Go this way though. So they're both going the same way. So you can tie it there. Or you can have it go through the way I did it on the original album. So just for now, I'll do it the original way. And yeah, it's kind of, pain, but it's not like you're going to be in it constantly. Once you get your pictures in, pretty much goes back on the shelf till the next year. So you can do this with 20 inches if you don't want to. But then you can also use what you cut off on tags. These other pieces. So you can put them on a tag. So I'll put that there just as a reminder. But over here, I did put the no peeking sticker off of your sheet. And I cut off, I really don't know why those were there. I wish they wouldn't put them on, but the conversation loop. I didn't mat this. Line that up with one of the lines on the bottom. Then I'll make a tag for there. And that's where we stop. So let's pull out, and I'll show you what we're going to start with next week, and we'll be done. So next week, this is a 6x8, and I know it is. This is going to be, like I said, this is the start of our baking here, but we're going to go ahead in just a minute, and I'm going to do those cut aparts for that pocket here with you, because we've done good on time. Okay. So if you want to, cutting guide shows 6x8, you'll have the lace that's in your little kit. And then there will be a change here because I've got a closure. We need something to hold this in. But your booklet and the cutting guide looks like it is correct. These are the recipe cards that do come with this line. And I don't know how I missed those guys, but I'll get those finished. And some more of the recipe cards. And we'll do the back cover next week. And the thing next week, when we put this together, I'll have all the matting done. It's really simple. We'll be able to glide right through it. And then we're going to take our scraps, and that's where we're going to build the matting for the cover. And even when it's this full, you're going to be able to lay it flat. So it's really easy to work on with this type of a cover. But since we're this far into the game, I want to go ahead and mat these. But like I mentioned, I don't think I want to use the animals this time. I'm going to use, I want to use more up here. But if you want to use the animals, that's how I did cut this. And we do actually use this on the cover. So if you're going to use some different ones, I don't want you to use this corner because we actually cut into this to make our truck a bigger piece for the front cover. And I'll show you how we did that, of course, when we do the cover. So you don't want to use this bottom section, but you can definitely come over here to the Christmas tree, which I'm going to do. Keep these two cut aparts. These two need to stay together. These two at the bottom. I'm going to use this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these off. Set those aside because I want that for the cover. Oh, I do want the Christmas tree. That's my cover. And you'll see how I did this. So see, I cut into some of the cut apart on the side to create a bigger cut apart. And that way it looked like the birds were in the trees. Even though they're a little upside down, you don't notice it if you don't see this first. And your Santa Claus cut aparts. This is going to be part of the cover. So you don't really want to use these yet. We have cut into it. I just want to give you guys those warnings there so you don't use them. The other side of this cut apart is green plaid of this one. And then I mean, these are cute, but I've already done with the kitties. I'm probably going to use this little piece. I'm going to trim this down a little bit because our pocket's only 6 inches. Yeah, you just don't want it to look too cut. I'm just taking 1/4 of an inch off of each side. Christmas tree. You don't want to cut too much off because you don't want to cut into the tree. Now let's see if we even like this. So I'm going to mat these. Maybe I do want the kitties. I think he is so cute. No, he's not Wilbur, but that was the original one. You know, I have to say, I like the cats with the dogs, so I guess I am going to go with that again. Crazy, I know. Let's grab a scrap. You should have plenty of scraps of whatever color you're using. And so this one I ended up cutting down to 3 by 3. I'm going to take a little bit off so it's a even 3. So whatever cut apart, see if you can cut it down to 3 by 3. It'll fit nicer on your pocket. And it looks like 2.5 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to cut a 2 5/8. By 2 7/8. And also, if you don't want the plain cardstock to show on the back, and I got glue there that time, you'll want to mat the back, maybe just with some plain of the plain cardstock. So I will mat front and back. It'll be the same size that I got my cut aparts at. So 3 by 3, we'll go 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. My blade's starting to die out on me. Looks pretty with the green. So if you want to mat the back, which I do, so I'll cut, and it doesn't matter really unless you want to match the matting that we used, which was the polka dots, and we used this one, which would be good on the back. So a 3 by 3 piece to fit on the back of one of those mats, and I'll do them both the same. And a 2 3/4. Hi, Jennifer. By 2 1/2. Jennifer, you missed all the excitement earlier. And actually, you don't have to cover the whole thing. Some of it's going to be hidden behind. We're going to be gluing it down. So link our edges. And this is where we'll end tonight. We'll put these on our pocket. And we'll be finished for this evening. I do have the little wreath. I'm not sure if I'll use it. Hi, Debbie. But this one, I'm going to mat just in case we don't have to mat the back. We have plenty of little scraps. So 1.5 by 3 1/8. Are you still away? Crafting from your hotel room? So I will just mat him just in case I decide I want to use it. No harm done. Oh, it's okay. Tonight, I wouldn't blame you if you did. To be honest with you, like I said, I'm matting the back just so that it looks nice, the part that hangs out. Oh, good. You'll be home for the weekend. That's nice. And the keys on the front. So this, actually, when I made this, it was designated this page anyway to the pets and to the little things Wilbur. Because Wilbur did get, and the other dogs, hi, Debbie, they got some pretty nice cards and different things for Christmas. So, yeah, it's made for the, oh, hi, Wilbur. It's made for the pets. Definitely, I like the pocket for them. Well, Jennifer, when you go to get caught up and you're watching this tutorial, we have a moment that I was totally insane, and you'll see it. So just try to bear with me and follow through on that page that folds out. But we got there. We did it. Not too much damage was done. Actually, none was done. Would have been done if I hadn't used my temporary glue. Okay. I hear a little boy down here. My little wreath sticking back there behind. Bring this down in here because I do want to still put traditions. And actually, I do mat this. So I'm going to put this down first. I'm going to cut it off real quick. Yes, it was quite the moment, Jennifer. So I'm going to put this down first. I love the green. I know it kind of looks black, doesn't it, on the camera? Oh, no, let's put the kitties. I put the kitties on top. Yes, I did. Then I'm going to see where I want my wreath. Just add a touch of glue. So we'll make it into one. Now also you want to just kind of watch where your adhesive is because you don't want to go down too far. So mine was just right at the bottom of the green. I don't want to grab that yet. Now we can burnish everything together. And when that flips up, everything's nicely covered. And you can lift it. There we go. See where you need to add more adhesive. Okay. I'm going to put the little Santa Claus and we are done, or Santa Claus is coming to town. This one I'll go ahead. And you could pop that up. I wouldn't pop it up only because of this corner. If you're thinking you're wanting to use foam tape there, you could, but it could cause a problem. And it could cause a problem with the corner of your pocket here. Okay, we did it. This is where we had our problem. No, this is where I had my problem, Jen. Was on this guy. I just went brain dead for a moment, for about 20 minutes. What can I say? We would have been done. Okay, well, we're getting there. I do like the kitties there. This is, so you could even, if you have a cricket or a silhouette, you could cut out the name of your pets. Definitely could put them there. And I just might do that. Be kind of cute. So we're getting there. We're moving along. And next week, don't forget, that'll be a nice map for there. Next week, we won't be doing it Thursday. We're going to be doing it Tuesday. Not Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday. No more Tuesdays. It's Wednesdays and Fridays. Okay, everybody. I will see you next week. And thank you for putting up with me. But see, our book's starting to really fill out nice. Good night, everybody. It's been fun. I think, I don't know. I can see all the comments, whether it's YouTube, but I do know that I hope people were just either working or they're really mad at me and they left for the big boo-boo. But we really didn't make a boo-boo. We didn't waste any paper. Okay, I'm going to go back on Facebook and fix the cutting guide. Thanks, everybody. Good night.